Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Eric, H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. To my super chat, thank you for your support. Your support is extremely, it's greatly appreciated, and it allows me to do these live streams, and it gives me the incentive to do these live streams. So I want to thank you very much, because a lot of times, for a while, the live streams were taking a lot out of me. I was doing them late at night and every single day for months on end. And I took a little break, and I started missing them. So we're doing the live stream every night at 7, 8 p.m. And I'm doing 3 uploads a day. So 4 times on this channel, you'll see yours truly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Eric, Luke, thank you. There's something very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and it's this public relations spin. It's just public relations spin from media that can't come to terms with the fact that President Trump runs the Republican Party. There is no opposition to Trump. There's no viable opposition. I did a segment yesterday on Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney admitting that Trump runs the GOP, and nobody really cared about nobody really cared about that segment. But Mitt Romney stated that based on everything going on with the polls and what he sees, he admitted that Trump would easily win the GOP nomination. That's with 2 impeachments. That's with media blaming him for everything under the sun, which is not his. All of these issues, we see New York's governor being investigated for horrendous decision-making. You see Democratic-run states that have the highest unemployment rates. Go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and take screenshots right now. It's February 24th. You could have done the same thing in January or December of last year. The top 12 states, I'm including DC, but the top 11 states and DC have the highest unemployment rates are Democratic-run states. So you have, we can go right now and look at it. It's not Trump's fault. It's simply not President Trump's fault. But here, should Trump speak at CPAC? Liz Cheney says he shouldn't be part of the GOP's future. Liz Cheney is not, she was censured. McCarthy says yes. Okay, Liz Cheney was censured by the Wyoming Republican Party. Adam Kinzinger was censured by the Illinois Republicans. And you have these people that voted alongside. Let's look at Adam Kinzinger voted 90.2% in line with Trump. Let's look at Liz Cheney. 538 has a vote tracker tracking Congress in the age of Trump. So Kinzinger had here, Liz Cheney. Let's see how often she voted. 92.9%. She voted 92 point, even more so than Adam Kinzinger. So can somebody tell me why media doesn't realize this, or it doesn't even acknowledge this? Dinah, hello, everybody. Deplorable Brian, hello. You have Liz Cheney, 92. Trump score. How often Cheney votes in line with Trump's position? 92.9%. You have 92.9% of the time. 92.9% of the time, Liz Cheney voted alongside President Trump. So how on earth is she going to say that Trump doesn't deserve to be at CPAC? First of all, the issue here is Twitter and public relations, and it's not there isn't really an ideological battle, because Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger vote alongside Trump over 90% of the time. There's not a battle on policies. Like, the Democratic Party is full of people who have different ideologies, different policies, but media sides with whatever narrative they try to push. And President Trump with Twitter, unfortunately, overshadowed like all the accomplishments during his presidency. He had accomplishments that other presidents did not achieve, didn't come close to achieving. First president to step foot in North Korea. Allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. Made the funding permanent. Absolved $300 million in loans from Katrina. These are all good things, but they were overshadowed. They were overshadowed by his tweets. So the tweets, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Bartlett, hello everybody. The tweets were like, you're looking at Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. Their problem is with his Twitter account or the way that he's portrayed by media. And then you have Liz Cheney, like, oh, look at the symbols, these symbols at the tragedy and the horrendous tragedy that took place. That wasn't Trump's fault. It had nothing to do with President Trump. You have people who are despicable, opportunists. I'm not saying that okay, those 5 people should be alive today. That woman should be alive today. I'm sure the majority of people who engaged in that, horrendous act didn't really know what they were doing. A lot of them just didn't know what they were doing. Okay? And they didn't mean for any horrendous tragedy to take place. Like I said, it was a complete tragedy. Those 5 people should be alive today. But then you have opportunists that latch on. And then media is looking. They're looking at, this is like President Trump lost. Like, he was so good at crafting and creating a brand and a media message. And he was so good at that for decades. And he just lost the ability to kind of focus on the accomplishments. He lost the ability to circumvent or defeat an opposing media narrative. And he fed them exactly what they wanted. And that was a problem. He fed them exactly what they wanted. And if you feel they now have, because of the tragedy that took place, a horrendous tragedy, they of course, completely forget the 5 to 6 months prior to November, where you had endless clashes and confrontations, $1 to $2 billion in property damage. According to Wikipedia, over 19 lives lost. See, again, you can't rely on hypocrisy. You can't rely on Democrats or media to look at and say, okay, we're being hypocritical by focusing on this and ignoring that. But what he did was he gave them, could you imagine what they'd be talking about now if that tragedy didn't take place in Washington? What was the point, by the way? He shouldn't have had those protests. He needed to create a dialogue, discourse, discussion. And he gave them everything they needed for the next, for the past 2 months now, to silence and to paint supporters of President Trump in an even worse light. There's no need to do that. My God Almighty! I for the past 3-4 months I was saying you can go on Joe Rogan. Why doesn't President Trump could have gone on Joe Rogan? He could have gone, and it would have been viewed millions upon millions of times. Jaded Vegas! Aloha, AJ. When you say orange medicine, Mitch's voice the other day, my hubby laughed so hard he couldn't even catch his breath. Here to share that with you. Jaded Vegas, say hello to your husband. And Jaded, thank you so very much. Say hello to hubby. And orange medicine. I'll just do it again. So let's see. Jaded Vegas and Mr. Jaded Vegas, thank you so very much. And Trumpy, the Orange Menace, has invited me to his Mar-a-Lago resort to play golf. And I don't know what else to say. Jaded Vegas, thank you. Thank you, Jaded Vegas. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like President Trump, like here you have like USA Today. Should Trump speak at CPAC? It's like they're not. They know what's going on. Washington House Republican news conference turned awkward Wednesday when Liz Cheney said Trump should not be part of GOP's future. Who cares what Liz Cheney said? Her father was Dick Cheney, one of the worst, like. He was part of the worst administration in the history of this country. The Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. Like, this is the thing. It's pretty unbelievable. Part of the worst administration in the history of this country got us into never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, never-ending quagmires, and then she got censured by her own Republican Party in Wyoming. And so that's up to CPAC. I don't believe that he should be playing a role in the future. He's the only future the Republicans have. You think that I would never vote for Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger or Ben Sasse. There are millions of people who would never vote for them as well. President Trump breaks the mold. He's able to do things that establishment Republicans cannot do. What happened was his personality, that they were able to make everything about his personality. Orange Menace. I'm just gonna. There's 100 people on this live stream. 114. I mean, it's like there's nothing going on, so I'm just gonna say Orange Menace for 50 minutes more. Orange Menace. Who remembers Orange Julius? How good was that? Maybe that's a California thing. I don't know. It was Orange Julius. A national thing? I don't know if it was. I don't even know if it's still. I think it's a national thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll just read you this. Cheney's comments prompted House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who is also appearing at CPAC, and said just seconds before that Trump has the right to speak there as well, to suddenly end the GOP leader's news. On that note, thank you all very much. Okay, so. Here's the thing with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse. Any disparaging comment towards Trump, any disparaging comment will be amplified. Oh my God, it'll be an example of an ideological rift, and oh my goodness, it'll be an example of how Republicans are trying to remove Trump from the future of the party. And, it's like he got 74 million Americans. And he did so by, and God bless Trump, God bless him, but he undermined himself with Twitter. He didn't have to be. It was a trap for the past year. Even I didn't see it. Now I can look back. I knew something wrong. I knew that the last 2 months of President Trump on Twitter, I said, wait, something's going on here. It's not working out. This is not helping the situation. And you could say, look, for 4 years he had to communicate his viewpoint, even if it was, something that, even if they gained momentum. Like Democrats and many liberal Democrats gained like sustenance, like this spiritual sustenance from waking up every day. And the same things, by the way, and I can't talk about them because of YouTube policies, the same things, by the way, are taking place right now. Same things. But it's like they're impervious to hypocrisy. They're impervious to hypocrisy. So it's like you can't, like simply pointing out the fact that Biden's administration is doing the exact same things that activists on Twitter were just up in arms and, oh my God, they were so outraged. Nobody is, if you type in Trump outrage, it's like, oh my God. I want to say Biden outrage. You can hardly find, I put Biden outrage on Google, you can hardly find, like, so I'm trying to, okay, now we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. So it's just like there's you have Liz Cheney with a 92.9% Trump score. You have Adam Kinzinger with a 90% Trump score. And it's like then they're like, we don't want Trump at CPAC. Well, you voted alongside him almost 100% of the time. What don't you like about the man aside from his tweets? And his orange, menacing hair. Orange menace. It's like everything in this day and age is public relations. It's just public relations. And people who, these people are the biggest hypocrites on the planet, especially a great many people on, like, liberal Democrats, morally superior. They're morally superior, but then when, like, you point out that everything they were outraged over is happening in a Democratic-run administration, suddenly you barely get any emotional response, any visceral response, nothing. They don't care. It's like you had millions of people who never cared about politics, and they only cared about Trump's personality. And that was the thing. It's like I look back and I'm like, what could he have done differently, knowing, and I understand it wasn't, you're talking about a human being who became president of the United States of America, challenging a system that was geared and like a machine that was designed to prevent a Donald Trump from becoming president. The system was designed more to allow Mitch McConnell to become president. I hereby do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution as your president. Oh my goodness, I was sleeping. I woke up and, honey, I woke up and I was the 47th president of the United States of America. Oh my goodness, everyone loved me. There was MSNBC was running the Great Turtle documentary about me, and Liz Cheney and Ben Sass, and even Trump was there. No, Trump was in a dunking booth. One of those things that and people were throwing baseballs, and he was falling into the water. Yes, that was part of my dream. Anyway, what was I even saying? I'm just thinking, like, the DC runs to ensure, Ramla, hello. DC runs to ensure, M. Ray, hello, that you have career politicians that you have career politicians, win the presidency. You don't want a person like, so I can't blame Trump for falling into certain media traps. Like, he should have simply said, because he's not racist. He's not a despot. He should have simply, like, every single day, he should have, like, whatever it took for them to just, do you condemn this? Do you condemn this? Yes, I condemn this. You condemn this? You condemn it? Yes, I condemn it. I condemn it. Every day I condemn it. I condemn it. I oppose it. I condemn it. I oppose it. Do you oppose this? Do you condemn that? Do you oppose this? It's like this irrational game they played. This happened there, and it's your fault, right? Right? Do you oppose it? And he was like, what he tried to do. First of all, he's not good at like suffering fools or like dealing with petulant people. He was when he was coming up. But he constantly tried to promote this image of strength, and I understand what he was trying to convey, but see, it fed into, you see what he's not condemning, he's not opposing it, he's just trying to show that he's strong, but really he's trying to support bad things, and it gave them momentum. It gave them political momentum. Now, like, Trump knew very quickly that he had entered a world that didn't want him there. And for a man going up against all of Hollywood, all of DC, like, you couldn't get more nefarious, more like greater immorality. Like look at the industries, Intel community, Hollywood, DC, like all of these industries, these places that you could say have engaged in the most horrendous activity for decades. They're the moral foundation against Trump. He worked with Russia. He's immoral. He's racist. And it's like, he was probably looking at that and saying, yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to reach out because these people are nuts. Agent Pepsi 1. No, we need to, I don't want that. Mike Sherman. Hey, Trump 2024. Won't that be fun? It will. Mike Sherman, thank you. It will be a lot of fun. Mike, Agent Pepsi, thank you. Mike, it will be a lot of fun. Jaded Vegas, Agent Pepsi, Mike Sherman, thank you. Mike, I just, my thing is like, I would love for President Trump, just like, what needs to happen? Just like a documentary, or like showing him playing golf, having lunch, speaking with people, like, he kind of crashed a wedding the other day. Like, just show his humanity. He's a human being. He presided over the Abraham Accords. He signed prison reform legislation. This is the opposite of a despot. And when you tell people, when you debate don't ever debate anybody, don't ever debate anybody, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Oh my God, it's not worth it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it's actually good because the people that I know good people who convince themselves that Trump is a tyrant and despot, and anyone who supports him is a tyrant and despot also. It's like they make these leaps of logic, and then they abandon friendships, and it's like, it's actually, what it is also. A lot of it is because they hang out with people who have one viewpoint, which is also interesting because, like, what kind of person are you if you only hang out with liberals or only hang out with conservatives or you only know? Like, it's not like, look, You had 10, let's say 10 million more people. Oh my God. Okay, you had 74 million supporters of President Trump. You pretty much half the electorate support Trump. So where are these people? I mean, am I the only one? Every time I either get contacted or, run into somebody or get a text message from somebody that, I grew up with or whatever that finds, my views horrendous. They always pretend in their own minds that I'm the only person who supports President Trump. And they're like, well, you're taking advantage of anger. What? Like, no, I don't work at CNN or MSNBC. And they don't realize that, like, and I think they probably do this with everybody they meet. So Mike, Mike Sherman, thank you again. What I would like to do, Alice, hello. What I would like to do is I would like for President Trump to flip the script. And there's got to be a way in the next couple of years for President Trump to, because, if he wants to run again, he's going to have to take acting courses or something. He's going to have to take Mitt Romney, so good to see you. Ben Sass, Liz oh, hey, I know. Oh, yeah. Pelosi, so good to see you. Everything's fine. You see, he's even more of a despot than before because he's trying to pretend that he's really a human being. No! It's like, if you flip the script, if you just flip the script, it would do so much better. Enrique, hello. It would do so much better. Like, it would be so much more advantageous for President Trump to just like be a kind, like, his actions were good. That's why he got a greater percentage of non-white voters than any Republican in 60 years. He did good things, but they made it all about his personality. And you gotta, if you talk about contentious issues, issues we can't talk about now because of, the people who did what they did in Washington. Thanks a lot. Horrible, terrible thing. Those 5 people should be alive today. If you talk about contentious issues, build a dialogue, a discourse, discussion. Invite all the Never-Trumpers to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, go golfing. Talk to them. This is what's going on. You'll never win again. Address certain issues. Build bridges, build alliances within the Republican Party. Have Mitch McConnell. So, Mike Sherman, I agree with you. Have Mitch McConnell there. Honey, Trumpers, he invited us again. This is the 7th invitation in 3 weeks. I think he's up to something. No good. I mean, how many 5-course meals can I eat? How much golfing can I do? I think the Orange Menace is up to something no good. He needs to invite McConnell like 10 times. He needs to invite McConnell. Invite Liz Cheney. Why not? Invite them all. Nikki Haley. Invite her. He should have like, and what he should do is like video them as they're meeting. Oh, Mr. President, hi. And then they show a documentary, and then CNN will be like, look at how Mitch McConnell greets Trump. They're all in it. They're all so beholden to him. There needs to be some, he just has to, if he just threw a curveball, not only, if you keep throwing 95 mile per hour fastballs, your major league hitters it's gonna be home run after home run. You got to throw the off speed. Throw the off speed. Please, for the love of God. Sinker, slider, curveball. Throw a curveball. Throw a curveball. You have the Never Trumpers throwing it like 70 miles per hour. But at least, but they have the umpires never calls, only calls strikes, and they get the stadium to the fences to just be pulled back. They get every single possible advantage. But anyway, so see every little thing Liz Cheney said Trump shouldn't be part of the GOP's future, and then that's what they focus on. That's what they obsess over. CNN, this is a sign of how much trouble the GOP brand is in. CNN had a racial discrimination lawsuit, number one. Number two, the media, the majority of Americans distrust media, specifically because of cable stations like the one I'm speaking about. And you have a situation where now Biden is forced to lead the country, and the same things are happening. It was like the old days. Oh, I love this. This is the best. Politico. It was like the old days. Biden praises meeting with Republicans and Democratic lawmakers. You mean like the old days of when Bush engaged in never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts and President Obama began a NATO intervention that destroyed a country? Oh, this is so great. Fantastic. President Joe Biden had high praise for what he called a very productive Oval Office meeting with Republican and Democratic lawmakers on Wednesday, offering a rare glimpse of bipartisanship he has been calling for since taking office. This is so great. It was one of the best meetings we've had, Biden said in remarks. Could you imagine? With Trump, it was like, oh my God, Armageddon! No! It was like the old days. People were on the same page, and that's why President Trump will easily get the nomination, easily, in 2024, because they were on the same page. 2500. Great content, HA. I found your channel after Stick's video and enjoy your perspective. Keep up the good work. Blessings on you and your family. Thank you, 0500. Thank you, 0500. Yes. Thank you so very much. Thank you very, very much. Blessings to you as well. Thank you. Thank you. 2500. Thank you. It's so interesting. The meeting was a small show of the cooperation Biden has sought. Who was in this meeting? Senator John Cornyn, Representative Michael McCall, both Texas Republicans, echoed Biden's comments. It was very good, very positive. The president was very receptive, as was the vice president. He said, we're all in. And they were talking about the F-35, high-end semiconductor, the operator, and everything. Oh, no, sorry. Not only are coming, we're all in and stand in front of the economy. So they're talking about, hold on. Semiconductors, they're talking about supply chain issues. Okay, so, because of Texas. Okay, well, I mean, Trump met with Democratic governors, had meetings with them, and he was barely he had positive meetings, but it was barely. This is bizarre. Associated Press, Joe Biden says things get better, including after divorce. What? What does that even mean? Why would she even comment on that? What's going on? Could you imagine, did they ever ask Melania for wisdom? I don't get it. Oh my God, it gets better. Joe Biden offers comforting advice to Kelly Clarkson, telling the singer and talk show host who was going through a divorce that things get better for the best. Things happen for the best. Oh, they do? And that life will eventually look better. I love this administration already. They're so much happier and nicer, and they always offer the nicest and most wise and comforting thoughts on the future. Unlike Melania and Trump, the orange matters. The First Lady, a divorcee herself, also reveals that she looks forward when the pandemic clears up. Yes, Melania never thought that. And explains why women should take time for themselves every day as she does. Oh, this is fantastic. I like this world so much better. This is such a nice world. Everything's just so much better now that Trump is gone. We can focus on the bright side of things, right, Jill Biden? So great. It's unbelievable how it's like you can't even make this up. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. The best is when I went to the bookstore the other day, and you see books like hanging out with this Democratic politician, what this Democratic politician eats for dinner, what this Democratic politician flosses and brushes teeth and does good things for dental health. And then Trump, Putin, Trump, Putin, Trump, Putin, Trump. And the books are on Putin, Trump. It's like everybody realizes. Exactly, Ramla. Exactly. Everybody realizes that, oh, gee, man, what is? Everyone realizes that media and Hollywood and intel operatives and the entire DC establishment wanted Trump out. And so now they're super happy. But, like, these are hilarious. You and Joe Biden, like, there's, like, nothing. There are so many controversies and scandals, by the way. New York's governor, Eric Swalwell, who fell in love with an intelligence operative. The deputy press secretary resigning. I mean, you have, like, legitimate scandals and controversies. Nobody's talking about them. Media, it's just not. You better believe media is not talking about them at all. They're not talking about them at all. And that's something like. That's something that. That's something that President Trump, even though. That's something that President Trump, even though, like, I understand why he pushed back on all of it. Like he went. There's, grunge or bust. Yeah, Ted Cruz should not have done that. That was the worst thing you could ever have done. Ted, and what he did is, I mean, he obviously doesn't really want to ever run for president because, Vanity Fair, of course. On top of everything else, Ted Cruz might have broken the law. Of course, it's never breaking the law when you're a Democratic politician who falls in love with an intelligence operative, but whatever. Allegedly, potentially. This is what Comey is like, potentially. No, he should never have done that because it was he's like, well, the family wanted to go, so what can I do? Like, what? Just say no vacation. What's the problem? What's so difficult about that? Your senator. It was just the worst thing possible. You have what? How many hundreds of thousands of people without power? I mean, on the Washington Post, you give Ted Cruz's latest Cancun spin shows the rot of GOP victimization runs deep. The rot. And this is the thing, like, you have the Washington Post. Like, you don't have, like President Trump has zero, footprint or zero presence in media. He's a media, mogul, but he has zero presence in political media. There's got to be, like, if the Washington Post and the New York Times are extensions of the Democratic Party, there has to be. I mean, they're conservative publications, but they don't they defend President Trump, but it's different. They're actually more objective. Like, you're gonna have to, if you go into 2024, you're going to have to find some way. I think that President Trump is going to have to find some way. Like, you have Democrats who get their narrative basically through, like, the New York Times and the Washington Post have turned into Democratic Party newsletters. Like, there's barely any favorable coverage there's no favorable coverage of Trump at all. And there's no investigative journalism of any controversy or scandal within Biden's administration. Nothing. Like, nothing. It's interesting how, like, you're going to have to you're going to have to get some kind of presence in media. I don't know how that happens, because every journalist is pretty much a liberal activist. So you can't, I don't know how that happens. But you have a Washington Post that's firmly against President Trump. Without, like, the editors, it's not just the journalists, the editors will not publish anything pro-Trump. So, Rin, London, Rin! HA, we need more people like you to spread the truth. Thank you so very much, Rin. Thank you, Rin London. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, Rin. And the future is bright. Rin London, the future is bright. Once 2022 takes place, you'll have Republicans who run the House. And you will it won't be just like Mitch McConnell type Republicans. It'll be like, Devin Nunes, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan type Republicans who go up against never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, go up against business as usual, hold corrupt intelligence operatives accountable. So, Rin London, thank you again. Thank you again, Rin London. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for always watching. It's interesting, like, there's no equivalent of, see, Fox News. Daisy Ridley disses Ted Cruz's Cancun trip after senators, what is this? Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley. What? This is, I swear to God, it's such an uphill battle. Oh my God. Why is this even news on Fox, no less? You see what happens? Do you think they're going to quote a conservative actor or actress, like that person's thoughts on Biden? My God almighty. Again, Ted Cruz did this to himself. But see, again, it's even... And this is like a double whammy, too, because, he backed President Trump, which is good, but, he needed to create a dialogue discourse. He should have. And then the Cancun trip, So Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley responded to Texas Ted Cruz after he dissed her character. Yeah, that was probably... That's actually... See, again, that was actually wrong. Now I'm reading this. That's probably wrong of Ted Cruz because now he's falling into a trap. I don't even know what she said, but again, it's like... So wasn't aware of the tweet. I'm very happy to be emotional. Doesn't leave their state when they're having a terrible time. So she brought it up. See, again, Twitter is the worst possible place to be. Rin London, thank you. Paul, thank you. Grunge or Bust. As long as you're watching Grunge or Bust, I'm honored and I thank you for watching. And, you know, you're awesome, very positive. I thank you for watching. Just, you know, just the positivity alone, ladies and gentlemen. When I was on the left, every day was negative. Every day, oh my God, you're helping Trump win. You're going to help Trump win. Well, then, I guess we won't have Lincoln Project foreign policy, but I mean, you're helping Trump win. Oh my God. Every day was negative on the left. Every day. It's interesting too. I'm looking at like Twitter is like it's like, thank God I haven't had it for going on 3 years now. And it is just the worst. Let's see. It's just the worst place to be. It's just the worst place. It's the worst place to be. It's actually like a waste of like life is short. Rin London, thank you again, Rin. Aria Lee, what is your opinion on fuel prices with Biden's administration? I think that, well, one issue pertaining to a couple of his executive orders, I should say, in response to your question, the first thing that comes to mind are jobs that have been lost because of the executive orders. Then when you look at the fact check articles, and well, you know, they weren't full-time jobs. It's like, well, yeah, but they really just, you know. I think the issue, one major issue, Aria Lee, thank you very much, Aria. One major issue is there's a push on the left for a Green New Deal legislation. And then conservatives want, you know, a more free market type of, maybe open to, you know, green energy, but they want to make it more profitable. And there should be a discussion. Here's why gas prices went up. Let's read this. Gas prices are shaping up to be the most expensive it's been about in a year. Last week's winter weather forced the shutdown of Gulf Coast and Midwest refineries, resulting in gas stocks tightening and gas prices rising. States gas price averages increased. States gas price averages increased by double digits, sending the national average up 13 cents to $2.63. It's a lot more in California. When close to 40% of U.S. crude production is offline because refineries are closed, there's going to be a pain at the pump. Oh, I like the way that sounds. Oh, my goodness. Until operations resume, the good news is the nearly 24 impacted refiners are expected to restart operation this week. So, I think that's one article that touches upon it. Arya Lee, thank you. Arya, thank you. Thank you so much as always, Arya. Rin, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. There are going to be controversies in the next couple of months that media will just try desperately to cover up or not talk about, but they won't be able to. So, Arya, thank you. My whole thing, like in terms of Biden, like it was supposed to be what media and Democrats got was a change in personality and some cosmetic changes, nothing paradigm changing. Like the country is still pretty much being run in the same manner. Is not the same manner, but in terms of like there's nothing transformative about Biden. So the same things that got people on the left outraged are still taking place, yet there's no outrage because many of them are hypocrites. Like the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And even if you point them to the direction and say, here's some articles, they won't care. I think that President Trump should realize that image, like he built a brand name based on image, but what Democrats obsess over, their obsession is crafting like the only thing they offered voters was not being Trump, and it worked. And that's something that needs to be addressed. Like you have to, if you're President Trump, you have to focus the next 4 years on trying to show the world that, hey, you're a human being. There were missteps, but there were tremendous accomplishments. Because they're trying to, like, they don't even want him in Arlington Cemetery. Like, these people, like, you're talking about the most malicious, petulant people. They'll be talking about the tragedy that took place in January for, like, months and months on end. And because they don't have President Trump. They don't have President Trump on Twitter anymore. So they don't have President Trump on Twitter anymore. They don't have like a reason. They don't have a reason to be outraged. Like they don't have anything galvanizing them or bolstering them. All they have is, he's no longer this obsession of theirs. They're no longer obsessed. That's the thing. He gave them the ability. He gave them a reason to care about politics. And instead of his policies, like there weren't really drastic policy disagreements because the same policies are taking place. The same like what Democrats disliked about President Trump, those things are happening today. And you could listen to any honest person on the left say, yeah, they're happening today. Even AOC is saying, yeah, they're happening in Biden's administration. The difference is they're not galvanized against Democrats because they have what they want. What really got them going was his personality. And if you could find a way to harness whatever is there were things about his personality that he could have simply promoted, or things about his image that he could have promoted without giving Democrats everything they needed to just keep on keep on obsessing over him. But let's see here. Let's see what's going on. The Washington Examiner is a great publication, ladies and gentlemen. You should definitely check out the Washington Examiner. Trying to look at it, it's really wow. I'm looking at that. That woman should be alive today. Really, and you have to ask yourself, what role did message boards play? I told everyone, I said, nothing good is going to come from that. Nothing good. Absolutely nothing good. Mark, hello. So, okay, House of ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you. It has been a little bit quiet lately in terms of it's been a little bit quiet lately in terms of what's going on. But I think we're going to call it an evening. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Oh, here. Senator Romney makes a bold prediction. Yeah, it's Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you, Eric and Luke. Thank you so very much. Have a blessed evening, everybody. I will see you tomorrow, same time, around 7 p.m., maybe even 6 or 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.